Do you want to sit down? Do you want to share some space? Come up here. Come on. There you go. Now sit. There you go. You'll be my co-host. Hi friends. Welcome to episode 59 of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. My name is Kalisha and you can find me anywhere online as Nadira Tani. I'm coming to you today from my home in Central Florida where it finally feels like Florida fall. There's a slight briskness in the air. It could just be wishful thinking, but whatever. I'm going with it. Wore a sweater today. I do have on sandals though, but I mean, we'll take what we can get in Florida, okay? It's fall. It's fall. Yay. Thanks so much for coming to spend some time with me today. I do appreciate it. If you're a new viewer, I hope you really enjoy what you see. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Nice to hang out with you again. I'm joined today by Miss Kiva here, and Tootie's in the background there, eating a whole lot of grass. Tootie, do you need some dressing with your salad? No? Come here. Come over here and say hello. Yes. Yes. We're hanging out outside because it feels so nice. Yay, fall. Aw, thank you. No, you don't lick me in the face though. You gonna sit down? Sit. Okay. Oh. This dog loves to sit in the most awkward way possible. Like, she has a talent for figuring out how can I sit in the most inconvenient, uncomfortable way on her lap. And that's what she does. And she loves to get her chin scratched. Or, that's not her chin, that's her throat. She likes her chin and her throat scratched and the top of her head. Yes. And we already know, if you're a returning viewer, you will know that Kiva is a fan of the belly rubs. And she's a little bit demanding about it. So yeah, let's get into today's episode. I have some finished objects, works in progress, a couple stash acquisitions, just the regular goodies for you guys. So let's jump right in with finished objects. All right, so the first finished objects I have is my favorite color socks fall edition. They are finished. The yarn I used for these, the body was Lorna's Laces and the shepherd sock or shepherd sock base. So it's 80% superwash wool, 20% nylon in the colorway Envy. What are you doing? Dude. And the heels, toes, and cuffs. Why are you being so weird? The heels, toes, and cuffs are Knit Pick Stroll in the pumpkin colorway. So there they are. Just a regular vanilla set, vanilla sock. Nothing special. Yeah. I haven't gotten to wear them yet. The ends are not all woven in because I live my life like that. Yeah, okay. Yes. We're not talking about socks. We just want to talk about Tootie. Tootie, you're so cute. Tootie, you're a good guard dog. Tootie, you hear everything. Your bark is so ferocious. Anyone coming near this house should beware. Beware of the ferocious Tootie. Right? Is that correct? Yes. Okay. Can I go back to talking about my socks now? No? Okay. All right. Socks. There's a pair. They're done. My next finished object My next finished object is the test crochet that I was doing for Hannah of the Cozy Cottage Crochet. It is her Bellatrix shawl and it is finished. The only thing I have left to do is steam block it and send it through the wash. Okay, you guys are being really, really bossy with my hands right now, okay? Okay, can I have my hands? These are mine, not yours. Okay. Here it is. Ta-da! I hope you can see, I think you can see the whole thing. I'm trying to like peer through the fabric. You probably couldn't hear any of that. I was trying to peer through the fabric and I think you could possibly see the whole thing. So I'm gonna lean back and try again. So this is the Bellatrix shawl. It's a pattern designed by Hannah of the Cozy Cottage Crochet. She will be releasing it next week. Is next week Halloween? She's aiming to release it on Halloween. So it is a beautiful semicircle shawl pattern worked with crocheted short rows, which was really awesome and fun to do. The color striping that I chose to use in mine are reflective of the candles that you use at Kwanzaa. So you have 3 red, 1 black, and 3 green. And then because the shawl needs 11 or more wedges, I added in these 4 wedges of brown to make sure that it was actually a semicircle and not a mostly eaten slice of cake. So that's it. It's kind of heavy to hold up. So I have to figure out how exactly to wear it, because right now it's just going like regular shawl ways, whichever way you I need to figure out how to wear it, because right now this is kind of all I got. Just throw it over my shoulders. This is hot. But it's really like, did you guys hear that kid screaming? Anyway, it's really, what's the word? Dense? Like not drapey at all right now. It's all made of single crochets, and I used, what is this? Hobby Lobby I Love This yarn. So it's 100% acrylic. So I am going to steam block it and then send it through the washer and dryer, which will really make it like drape a lot better. And when I steam it, I am going to stretch it a bit more so that I get a little bit more like hang time on the shawl, because I feel like that'll help me figure out how to best wear and show off this work. So yeah, it's like Christmas in the front. So yes, that is my Bellatrix shawl. I'm super excited to be done with it. Now, after I do like all the rest of the finishing, I have to set up my Ravelry project page and be a good test knitter. You will also see there are no ends into air. That's because I wove them in like a good crocheter. What else can I tell you about this? Oh, these lines that I put here in the black yarn are not part of the pattern. I just wanted to make sure that there was like a separation between the wedges of the same color that were next to each other, because the original pattern has alternating colors of wedges. So yeah, that's my Bellatrix. And that's all of my finished objects, guys. Okay, making sure that the dogs haven't run off, because Tootie right there, she'll just walk off, like just walk off down the street like I'll be back. I don't know why she thinks that's okay. Okay, So let's hop right on into works in progress. And I have two. Yes. One of them is a half object, which is my reading socks, or what I'm calling my reading socks. These are a just plain vanilla sock made with this yarn. This is Superba Bamboo Superwash, and I got this from a lovely viewer of the podcast, and I'm so excited to be using this yarn. It's a really cool yarn. So thank you so much, Tyrion, for sending it to me. I do appreciate it. And this is how it works up. So there is like a color repeat that you can clearly see there, but because of how scrambled up the colors appear to be, it's almost like there is no actual color repeat, which I like, because I'm not going to try to make anything match in these. I did a German short row heel, just in garter stitch, which it does feel it feels different and squishy on my foot, so I think that's pretty cool. One thing I did notice when I put the socks on, I have a hole. Is it this corner? Yes. There's a huge hole on this corner of my heel right there. So this was my second German short row heel, and my first garter stitch heel. So I don't know if I just need to pick up a stitch in here or whatever, but I'm just going to take some yarn at the end and sew that hole closed. The other side is way better. There's no hole on the other side, so that's pretty cool. But this one, I went for like an extra long leg. I did 20 rows of 2x2 rib, and then 80 rows of stockinette on the leg before I started the heel. And then the foot before I start the toe is 72 rows for me. And then I do my favorite rounded toe. Fun fact about this toe, I actually messed it up, because last week I was talking about how awesome I felt because I was doing all of these decreases on this sock in the dark, and I was like feeling myself basically. And then I was kind of doing the same thing on this one, and I miscounted. I was supposed to do like 3 rows of even stockinette before doing another decrease, and I only did 2. And then I got confused, and I knit too far, and I had to rip back, and it was just a whole bunch of foolishness happening. But eventually I got there, and you can see like right here how there's like that little pew. I just fudged it. It's fine. Fits my toe. It's gonna be in my sock. Everything's fine. So I just have to cast on the second sock and get it going. These are my reading socks because I found that I can. These are my reading socks because I knit on them while I am reading Harry Potter, which is what I'm currently doing. I finished the 3rd book. I'm now waiting for the 4th book. Allegedly, it's coming to me in the mail from my library, which the Orange County Public Library system, like whenever you put a hold on an item, when it's ready, they just send it to you. Like they have like the library delivery guy who delivers your books and stuff to your home, which is really cool. So yeah, I saw on my library account that it's been checked out to me, so it'll be to me in the next couple days, and I'll be able to start book 4. So I think I'm just gonna wait until, no I'm not. I'm gonna cast the second sock on, do the ribbing, and then be ready to go with just plain stockinette when I get book 4. So that's that work in progress. The next work in progress I have is also a pair of socks, and I have cast on my first rainbow sock. So over the past couple months, I have been essentially collecting rainbow yarn. Like first I didn't have any, and now I have all the rainbow yarn. So this is actually the second rainbow colorway that I got. This is Patton's Croy Patton's Croy socks in the Sunburst Stripes colorway. And because it's Patton's Croy, it's a little bit thicker than your typical sock yarn. You're gonna sit down. Don't sit on my knitting needles. That won't feel good. Sit. No, sit. You see, they don't listen to me. They don't. You guys are bad. Sit down. Sit down. There you go. There you go. Good girl. So this is how it's working up so far. And I am doing a 2x2 ribbed sock. So I'm just doing the whole leg. It's going to be the whole leg and the top of the foot, I think, in ribbing. And I'm working this on 60 stitches. Because it's Patton's Croy, it's a little bit thick than your typical sock yarn. So I am working this on US 1.5 or 2.5 millimeter needles, where normally I work on a US 1 2.25 millimeter needles and 64 stitches. This one is 60 stitches. Did that make sense? Because I know I said that all over the place, out of order. But yeah, so far I am 40 rows into this. I think I'm going to do between 80 and 100 rows on the leg, I think, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. But I have 2 balls of this yarn, so I can make long socks like that. So that will be fine. Yeah. The stitch markers that I have on here, this one, is it backwards? No. This one is one that I made. It's one of my New Orleans stitch markers. That is a steamboat, because when Lamar and I went to New Orleans, we rode the steamboat Natchez. And then the colors that I used here are the Mardi Gras colors. And then this stitch marker came with another set, or another rainbow colorway that I got from String Theory Colorworks. And she just included that stitch marker with the yarn. So I just put a lobster clasp on it so that I can use it as a progress keeper. And typically when I knit my socks, I count in rows of, or in chunks of 20 rows. So I'll move this up when I get to the next 20. And I think that's all, you know, that I really have to say about this. It is making me very happy watching the colors come through, just because, I mean, I love those bright colors. Like, these socks are going to be so bright and cheerful. And I'm like really excited about it. That's it. So that's all of my works in progress. Uh-oh, there's a ball that just, oh, ball of yarn running away. That's everything for works in progress. Next we'll jump into maker plans. So, maker plans. You gonna sit down, or you got somewhere to be? Sit. Here, sit down, Tootie. You got your little dirty feet on my pants. Were you rolling in the dirt again? Yeah. Yes, you were rolling in the dirt, weren't you? You little dirt fairy. You little dirt fairy. All right, so yeah, maker plans. I have 3 to 4. So the first one, since I am currently holding one of the beings that will be gracing, or that this item will be gracing, fingers crossed, I kind of want to make dog sweaters. Is that weird? So Lamar and I take like a Christmas picture, like Christmas family picture. I say quotes because it's just me and him, really. And grown-ups don't really change year to year. So we take Christmas family pictures and we include the dogs. And so each year I would want them, like, I have like some sort of little costume for them. Like a couple years ago, I crocheted these little scarves that they wore in the pictures. Last year, I forget what they had last year. Oh, last year they had sweaters, like, that I bought from a store. The year before that, I made little like holly berry clips to go on their collars. So like I always want them to have something special to wear in our Christmas pictures. And I was recently in this store and I was looking at their like dog sweaters, like their Christmas dog sweaters, and all I could think was, I can make that. So I started looking for videos on like how to upcycle like people sweaters into dog sweaters. And, you know, I found a couple that were really cool. But then, you know, that little voice in the back of your head, like the crafter who has absolute confidence in her skills is like,
Kalisha, I bet you can knit that. Or maybe even crochet that. You should totally do it.
Yeah. So now I kind of want to make dog sweaters. And I think it's going to happen, guys. I think it's going to happen. I haven't looked for any patterns or anything like that. I low-key feel like I'm just going to wing it. But we'll see. Fingers crossed, you know, that this will go well. If it doesn't go well, who knows? They might just have to wear a Christmas bow on top of their heads for our Christmas pictures. But that's my first maker plan. The second maker plan I have is kind of like a recycle. Oh, careful. I have this yarn. Where is the other ball? I have this yarn. I just frogged it from the socks that it used to be. But this is, who made this yarn, Kiva? The colorway is Dance With Me Beast, and it's by Yarn Cafe Creations. This was actually the very first indie dyed yarn that I ever purchased. And I actually featured it on, I think it was the very first episode of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. This was like one of my stash positions. So I knit a pair of socks from this. I knit the Flying North socks by Maria Monska. And I liked the socks. They were really beautiful. The pattern was easy to follow. But for some reason, they were just loose, like around my ankles. I think it was just that my gauge was too loose with this particular sock yarn. I don't think that any of the other sock yarn that I've used has been like 75-25 superwash merino nylon that I've used for socks. I think predominantly the yarn that I use is the Deborah Norville sock, and that has, I think, some rayon in it or something else. But this yarn I think was just like softer and more drapey almost than like the other socks that I've been using, and less hard wearing. So they stretched a lot. So I think, so essentially I ripped out the socks and I want to make another pair of socks with these. In the original socks, I didn't use any contrast for heels, toes, or cuffs or anything like that. So I think I might introduce another yarn for the heels, toes, and cuffs and just use this as the body of the sock. So what I'm thinking about doing is either making a ribbed sock, like maybe a 3x1 rib, just so that it has that like cinch in, or maybe go down to 60 stitches for a vanilla sock. Either way, these will be recycled into another pair of socks. And I need to figure out what color I want to use for the contrast heels, toes, and cuffs. I have some leftover yellow Cascade Heritage sock. You know what? Cascade Heritage sock is also 75-25 superwash merino. So I think this yarn is just softer. So who knows? But I have some yellow Cascade Heritage that's like the solid that goes exactly with this tone of yellow. So I think I might do that, or I might like go through the rest of my minis and see if there's something else that... It's a squirrel fight in the trees, y'all. Can you hear them squeaking? Hope they're okay. But yeah, these are going to be socks with contrast heels, toes, and cuffs. Yeah. Have you... Comment down below and let me know if you've ever ripped out any socks that you have already worn. Like, I wore these quite a few times. Let me know if you've ripped out any socks and re-knit something with that yarn, and how did that go? Like, this yarn is a bit fuzzier, and there's plenty of Kiva and Tootie hairs just trapped in the wool, but that's okay. That's the story of my life. So let me know how your experience with re-knitting or with reclaiming yarn from socks and re-knitting that has gone, because I would like to know. And my last maker plan is another harvest. Oh, there's a stitch marker in there. I was counting the rows and stuff earlier. My next maker plan is another version of the Harvest Moon pullover, which is this sweater. This is a sweater that I designed. Well, not even quotes. Like I did design it. I came up with the numbers and everything. It was kind of like very freestyled. So I am making it again so that I can organize my crazy thoughts into like understandable thoughts and share it with you guys, potentially, depending on how long it takes me to do this. So of course I wanted to use yarn that I already had in my stash. And my initial plan was to use the cream Karen 1 pound yarn that Deneen sent me. Deneen of the Knits In by Deneen podcast. We did a swap. She sent me like this big thing of cream yarn, and I was like, this would look awesome in a nice pullover. And I'm glad that I actually sat down and did a gauge swatch with that yarn, because it is quite thicker than this. Like, this yarn did... Oh, this is ZZ Twist yarn by Lion Brand. But this yarn did 15 rows per 4 inch and... Or no, 15 stitches per 4 inch and 9 rows per 4 inch as the gauge, right? When I knit up the swatch with the Karen 1 pound, it did 13 stitches and I want to say like 6 or 7 rows to 4 inches. So like if I had just like jumped in there and just started making up this sweater with that yarn, it would have been like huge. I mean, it probably like could have been like a big slouchy like snuggle around the house kind of sweater, but that's not really what I was looking for. So I'm glad that I did take the time to swatch it. So I am going to be using that for a different sweater because it's a pound. I can make a sweater for me out of a pound of yarn, right? So the next yarn that I decided I wanted to try, because I knew I would have enough, or I'm pretty certain I would have enough of this yarn to make this sweater, was this. This is from Stash. This is Woolies, Lion Brand again. I use a lot of Lion Brand. This is Lion Brand Woolies worsted weight. And this one is Blue Mist. It's 80% acrylic, 20% wool, washable and dryable. And I had these 4 colorways in Stash. Okay, now I did a gauge swatch using this yarn, and the stitch gauge is on, the row gauge is slightly bigger. Yes, the row gauge is slightly bigger because this one gives me 8 rows to 4 inches, where this is 9 rows to 4 inches. So I was like, okay, and then did a bunch of math early this morning, and I came up with the numbers that I would need 5 or 6 balls of this to make a sweater. Now, I already have a 4-color striped sweater like this, so I don't really need another one. So then I was looking at this, and I decided to nix the pinky purpley one and just go with this color, like this color scheme, because that's my college colors, and I just like the gray in there. So this is the color scheme that I'm going to go with. But what I decided to do was, instead of doing like stripes like this again, I went and bought some more gold. This is actually the one that I had in my stash, but so I have this much of the gold, which I'm going to do the majority of the body and the sleeves with, and then I'm going to do like a color block of the blue, and then a color block of the gray. Is something biting me? The sun's going down, the mosquitoes are coming out, y'all. Color block of the blue, color block of the gray. Not entirely sure how much of that is going to be in there, but I like where this is going. And I have a while before I have to figure out exactly how much of the blue and gray that I want to add to the bottom, because this is a top-down sweater. So what I think I'm going to do is, because this one was old, I don't remember when I got this. Actually, I don't remember when I got any of this yarn. It's just that long it's been in stash. But of course, this one is a different dye lot than these. Now it's commercial yarn, so I don't think there's really much of a difference. So what I'm going to do, though, just in case, is start out with this yarn, work as far as I can with it, like down the body, and then use this one on the sleeves. I think that's what I'm going to do. And then incorporate these two. Now I might just use the one color block of the blue and just have a blue and gold sweater, which would be kind of cool. And then I have these two that can like hang out together and be something themselves, which I think is a better idea, because then I have 2 skeins of something as opposed to just one. And I think that like I could make something out of this. Just having one might make me have to buy another ball of yarn, which is essentially not what you want to do when you want to work through your stash. Am I right? Right. So that's my idea for my next Harvest Moon pullover, which I'm really excited about. And I'm actually going to get started on that tonight. Yes. Also, sliding into stash acquisitions, because I bought these two today. When I was looking for my 5.5mm hook to swatch with, I couldn't find it. I don't know where it is. My hooks just grow legs and walk away. I promise you. Like, it's like they don't want me to create with them. They just want to be on vacation. So I went ahead and picked up 2 more hooks. These are the Amore crochet hooks by Clover in the 5.5mm and the 5. That's an H for the 5 and an I for the 5.5, because I have 50% off coupons. So I went ahead and bought them. I'm pretty sure that I have both of these, so I'm not going to open them until I'm certain. Or maybe I'll just keep them and then have multiple ones. Because these are the sizes, like 4.5, 5, 5.5, and 6 are like my go-to sizes for anything that I want to crochet. So having more of them isn't a bad thing. Yeah. So as we have just traipsed on into stash acquisitions, I feel like I'm talking really fast. I don't know. The sun is setting, but the light hasn't gone like too wonky just yet. Last episode, I was talking about my love for old craft books, right? And, you know, after I posted that, I was scrolling on Instagram, and I follow this Instagrammer by the name of Thistle Hollow, I think. Now I'm second guessing myself. I'm pretty sure it's Thistle. I can't even say it. Thistle Hollow. If it's not, I'll correct myself on the screen. But they recently posted this picture of 3 beautiful old knitting books, and they were like hardbound books. They were like this thick, each of them, like in like these seafoam green colors, like just beautiful books. Just, even if you don't knit, if you just like beautiful things, these books were here for you. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness, you know, I haven't been to a used bookstore in a minute, so I really want to go check out one. So last Friday, my friend Cherie and I had like an afternoon gal date and went to a used bookstore in Longwood called Best Used Books. And it was amazing. Like, when we walked in, I'm pretty sure I audibly said wow. If I did not audibly say it, it was all over my face, because the guy at the register goes, "This is your first time in here, isn't it?" And we were like, "Yeah." He said, I could see just the amazement. So we went in, and it was just books everywhere. At one point, like, I was standing next to a shelf that was like so crammed with books that it was actually leaning. It made me a little bit nervous because it was the shelf next to the craft stuff, and I was like, dang, I need to stand here because I want to find these books, but I also don't want to die via avalanche. So I was kind of like this, like looking at the books. So I did find a couple books, and ants, leave me alone. These are the 2 books that I found. Look at this one. This is the Good Housekeeping Needlecraft Encyclopedia. It's beautiful. It's like this really nice grassy green color, and it's like scuffed up and owned by this lady, Betty something. And okay, side note, my mom's cursive handwriting looks like this. So whenever I see handwriting that looks like this, it reminds me of my mom, and it's just like really, really sweet, and it makes me happy. So this book is full of all kinds of needlecrafts, as you would assume, since it's called the Needlecraft Encyclopedia. So there are simple sewing, advanced sewing and tailoring, embroidery, applique, quilting, patchwork, knitting, crochet, hairpin lace, tatting, needlepoint, rug making, weaving, etc. And then there's a section called miscellaneous, which I haven't gone through yet because there's just so much to go through in here. So this was like the find for me. Like, after I found this book, I was like, I'm good. Everything else is gravy. So be still, my old book loving heart. And then I also found this. This is another stitch dictionary. It's called, it's 900 stitches patterns. That doesn't sound right. It should be 900 stitch patterns, people. Mon Tricot. It's a knitting dictionary. It has knitting, crochet, patchwork, jacquard, Afghan fork, and it says techniques. I don't know what that is. So let's see. So it basically has like all of these stitches like this. So it shows you like what it looks like, and then gives you the information about, or like the pattern on how to create it. One thing that I found hilarious on here, where is it? There was some, oh, here it is. Just this page right here. It says knit fashion, knit with Mon Tricot, the most famous knitting magazine in the world. In the world. I was like, okay, guys. Okay. You must have this fabulous knitting and crochet dictionary. It's a must for every knitter. If you don't have this book, you are not serious about your yarny life. It wasn't me. I didn't say it. They said it. Like, I don't know why that just tickled me so much when I read it, but I was like, the most famous book in the world. So yeah, those were my used book finds that just like made my day. I cannot wait to like jump in there and like incorporate some of these stitches into like ideas that I have, like must make faster. The next couple little things that I have for Stashquisitions are just like a couple little trinkets that I got here and there. I am almost ready to start my new craft book, so that's what this is going to be. This is my current one right here, and I only have, I'm like really almost done. I only have this many pages left. Oh, one of those isn't even a page. I only have this many pages left, so I'm almost done with this. It's chunky and used and happy and full of ideas and doodles and plans. And this is my new one. I'm showing you the back because the front has a Stashquisition on it. Ta-da! This is an adhesive patch that I got from Joann's. It came in a set of 3. Let me see if I can find the other 2. I threw them in here. It came in a set of 3. Here we go. And they're actually meant to put on the front of your happy planner. So here's the other 2. This one says Miss Maker, and this one says Queen of the Craft Room. So of course I had to buy these because I could not leave them there. And also in that section they had enamel pins. And so I got the Crafty set. A glue gun. This one says They Call Me Crafty. Yeah, They Call Me Crafty and Miss Maker. And this was $9.99 without a coupon, and I had a 50% off. And these were $4.99, I think. So definitely go check them out. They have, I saw in my Joann's, they had 3 different types of enamel pin collections. And I didn't see any more of these patches, but I'm sure that they have other ones there. So yeah, that was really like fun, like discovery that I had that day when I came across these. And then today I was just out and about and decided to pop by a thrift store, and I found this, a little shamrock. If you're a longtime viewer, you know that I collect like St. Patrick's Day type things because me and my husband's first date was on St. Patrick's Day. So I'm a collector, and whenever I can find something to add to my St. Patrick's Day collection, I pick it up. And this little pin was only 99 cents. So yay. I think that's everything that I had for you crafty wise, and just in time because the light is really going now. Let me check my notes. Check the notes, check the notes. See if there's anything else I was supposed to say. Yeah, that's everything. That's everything that I wanted to share with you, crafty. That's everything that you would have to see, like any colors. So I'm just going to tell you guys about some of the things that Lamar and I got up to this weekend. And yeah, just some life stuff. So this past weekend in Orlando, or rather, okay, I'm sitting crisscross applesauce. Oh no, did I just, oh, I didn't. I thought I frogged something. I thought I ripped a needle out of something. It's just a naked needle. Here we go. So this past weekend, in downtown Orlando, there was this arts, like almost kind of a festival type thing called Immerse Orlando, and it was put on by the Creative City Project. And essentially, the Creative City Project is a group that seeks to bring like art to the people in kind of a way. So what Immerse was they shut down like a couple blocks in downtown Orlando, and they had performances. They had stages out there. So when we went out, we saw some break dancers, South American. I say South American because I can't remember exactly where this guitarist was from, but there was that music with traditional dance. There was a giant ball pit. What else? Just a whole bunch of stuff, like performers, like choirs were singing. There was the orchestra was out there. Early in the day, they had already gone by the time we got out there, but it was just so much stuff out there. Street performers, artists. There was this guy out there like painting this huge mural that you could enter to win. There was just a lot to see, and we had like a lot of fun. It ended up just being me and Lamar, so kind of like an impromptu date night, and just like seeing all of the creativity around was just amazing. I definitely want to go next year, and I definitely want to go earlier. It was I think 5 to 11, either 5 to 11 or 7 to 11, and we ended up getting there at like 10, so we were just there for the last hour that they were open. And I would definitely like to get out there earlier next year to see more of the things, because literally there was something everywhere you turned. And what made it even better, the event was free. They had a couple things that you had to pay for, like get a VIP ticket, but even like the VIP tickets were not crazy expensive. I think it was like $22 or something like that. And yeah, it wasn't like the vast majority of the experiences that you could have out there were free experiences, which I think is really cool. And another thing that I'm really excited about is that I find that things like, you know, Immerse Orlando or the Creative City Project, once you find out about like one of the events, you know, and you like follow them on social media or something like that, you'll hear about other things. Like once you get your ear into like that area, like other things open up to you. You find out about them, which I think is really, really cool. And I'm looking forward to having more experiences like that, because Orlando is a really, really cool and vibrant place to live. You just have to like know where to look, you know? And it's so easy, at least for me. Ooh, mosquito. Oh, guys. This is going to be quick. It's so easy for me to not put the effort into finding things because, you know, oh, I have to go to work and it's a far drive to Orlando, you know, like, oh, I'm tired, I'm this, I'm that, I just want to chill out, just want to stay home, you know, things like that. But it's there's so many things to experience, you know. And one of the things that Lamar commented on while we were walking around downtown was how I wasn't feeling anxious. And so he was like, okay, so essentially what I'm seeing is you don't necessarily have a problem being in like different areas or different things like this, like around strangers or anything like that. It's just when you're all crammed together closely. And I was like, yeah, I think I have a problem with people bumping into me and it like freaks me out. So that was kind of cool. It was really nice to be able to like go out, experience these new things and not feel, you know, anxious at all. So so yeah, it was a really good weekend just passed. And let's see, is there anything else that I can tell you guys? I don't know. You probably can't even hardly see me anymore. Oh, that's a huge mosquito. Okay, guys. Well, on that note, before I get sucked dry, I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you have a great weekend. Definitely leave some messages down below, some comments of positive things that happened to you so that we can all share in that positivity. Because remember that joy shared is joy doubled. I think a mosquito just bit me on the neck. That's so vampire-like. Oh my gosh. So yes, thank you so much for being part of my universe. Hope you have a great time doing whatever it is you're doing and being creative and being awesome. I love you. Peace. Bye.
Do not drop that wave. Yes, it's your turn.